Hello, hi, welcome to all. Today we are going to discuss dimensions of ethics. In the previous lecture, we have discussed essence, determinants, and consequences of ethics in human actions. I have explained you all the things to the brief and to the point, and I have also explained in brief about various questions asked in previous UPSC papers. Let's see the topic dimensions of ethics. As you all see, there are various dimensions of ethics. As I have already told you, ethics influences all other domains of our UPSC syllabus as well as it is also influenced by society, economy, politics, administration, and so on. As you all can see, here I have given you a picture from internet, that is the Tata Code of Conduct. That is the Tata Code of Ethics. That is the code of ethics of the company, Tata company, the prestigious Tata company. Every organization has such code of ethics, which you can see and you can download from their websites. Here they have written that this comprehensive document serves as the ethical roadmap for Tata employees and companies and provides the guidelines by which the group conducts its business. We have already seen that ethics are nothing but values and principles which guide an individual's action, behavior, and choices. Similarly, Tata's code of ethics guides Tata employees as well as guides Tata leadership to take ethical actions. These are all the dimensions here. I have noted it down. First is personal ethics. What is personal ethics? Personal ethics are nothing but our values, personal values, individual principles. Maybe some people like to have charity. Some people are philanthropists. Some people are patriotic. They want to serve army, a nation's army. Some people want to serve Indian army. They want to lay down their lives for the nation. That is their value system. That is influenced by their upbringing, from their parents, from the education system, etc. Second is organizational ethics. Every organization, be it a government organization or a private organization, they have certain ethics. Already in the previous slide, we have seen that the Tata company has code of ethics, which they have shown in their website. Similarly, every organization has certain ethics. Maybe it may be business organization, maybe it is a government organization, or maybe it is an NGO. Third is professional ethics. Every profession has certain ethics. For example, doctors have ethical code prescribed by Medical Council of India. Similarly, lawyers have certain codes prescribed by Bar Council. As you have seen the famous movie Kabir Khan, where there is an ethical code for doctors that doctors shall not be under the influence of alcohol while conducting any surgical procedure or surgical operation. But the hero operates an individual under the influence of alcohol. So you have seen that Medical Council of India has cancelled his registration. Next, social codes. There are various social codes. You see, there is Muslim personal law for the Muslim community, and there are various tribal communities with different tribal codes. And the infamous Kap Panchayat, they have certain codes. Similarly, Sikh community is having certain social codes. Next is applied ethics. What is applied ethics? As I have already told you, ethical theories, whatever the ethical theories we have seen in the last lecture, they can be applied to various domains. What are those various domains? All the domains are our UPSC syllabus. For example, international relations, that is coming under paper 2. What are the ethics in international relations? As you can see, now the proxy war that is happening in Ukraine. Earlier it was in Syria. Similarly, airstrikes killing innocents in Afghan. USA is doing airstrikes. What is our old Chanakya Niti? Similarly, we have science and technology, environment in paper 3. Ethics is applied to ethics. If it is applied to science and technology, what are the various modern technologies like artificial intelligence and various other technologies? What are their impact on our lives, our value system, our principles? As you all know, that the famous scientist Stephen Hawking, what he said? He said that artificial intelligence may be a biggest event in human history, but it might also be the last, because we are creating machines. We are creating super machines with super intelligence who can almost think like a human. But what those machines lack? Those machines lack emotions. They don't have any emotions. For example, we are creating certain machines which can be useful for the army. But whether those machines have any moral principles? They will only kill the enemy. They will only kill the human being. They don't have any moral principles. Similarly, what about bioethics? Today we have IVF technologies and surrogacy. What are the ethical implications of those such technologies? We have recent technologies of DNA profiling. Whether those technologies will be misutilized, whether those technologies can be a threat to the human civilization in the future. Applied ethics sees all those angles. Similarly, environment ethics. We are talking about today climate refugees. There are so many people affected by the climate disasters. Every year, every month, every day, there are so many climate induced migrants who are migrating from one place to another place. What will be the impact on their lives? Next, we are talking about descriptive ethics. Descriptive ethics talks about what is happening, what is existing. For example, slavery used to be the norm in previous times. Sati used to be the norm in previous times in India. Next is prescriptive or normative ethics. As you know, prescriptive or normative ethics, norm is like a normative, what it should have been. For example, directive principles of state policy. It guides the state. It guides state and its institutions to formulate policies which will benefit the society. Similarly, United Nations. United Nations talks about the harmony between the nations. Every country should have peaceful environment. But truly whether peaceful environment exists? There are so many fights between the nations. Next is meta-ethics. Meta-ethics talks about what is good. Yesterday we have seen what is good, what our religious texts, be it Mahabharata, be it Ramayana, be it Bible, what they are talking. What is good for the society? What is good for the individual? What is good for the individual well-being, individual happiness, or societal well-being? Next is objective ethics. Objective ethics means ethical principles applied uniformly to all the individuals. For example, constitution, laws, they are applicable to all the individuals, be they from whatever be the community they belong, whatever be their region, whatever be their sex. Next is subjective ethics. Subjective ethics applies to a certain community. We have already seen in the previous slide, we have also discussed about the social codes. The social codes relating to a tribal communities, Muslim community, Sikh community. Christian community. Next is previous UPSC questions on this topic, that is dimensions of ethics. In 2020, they have asked about distinguish between laws and rules. Discuss the role of ethics in formulating them. Second question, almost in a similar question, they have asked in 2016. Law and ethics are considered to be two tools for controlling human conduct so as to make it conducive to civilized social existence. A. Discuss how they achieve this objective. B. Giving examples show how the two differ in their approaches. For this question, for both the above questions, I have given you the model answer. Model answer I have given you. Let's see what that answer is. For the second question, I have written the answer. A. Discuss how they achieve the objectives. Law and ethics. How they are achieving the overall target or overall objective of conducive civilized how they are controlling a human conduct so as to make it conducive to civilized social existence. How they are controlling human conduct, how they are controlling the societies, how they are controlling the human behavior in societies to have a harmonious society. Let's see. First point I have written that ethical principles, most of the time they are supported by the legal framework, legal institutional policy framework. Already we have discussed this yesterday. Ethics are mostly supported by the legal framework. Second point I have written that law and ethics both help guide individual actions, behavior, choice with a view to achieve just, equitable and inclusive society. Third point I have written, already yesterday I have discussed various angles under the topic essence of ethics in human actions. And also I have discussed you concentric circles, administration, politics, economy, society and ethics. You have to keep in mind both the angles while you writing answers. Out of those angles, one angle is means versus ends. So this point, third point I have written from the ends perspective. Both advocate maximum happiness for maximum people. That is the end result. Ethics desires maximum happiness for maximum people. Law also desires maximum happiness for maximum people. How? Example, wealth tax on rich to fund welfare programs for the poor. We have Income Tax Act which mandates wealth tax. Fourth point is means. Both advocate the path of righteousness, that is dharma. Ethics focuses on dharma, at the same time law also focuses on dharma. Next, fifth point I have written from the angle of politics plus short term versus long term. This is the angle. If you think of the angle, you will come out with a point. What is that point? Both advocate for good politics which focus on long-term goals rather than short-term benefits. How? For example, Representation of the People Act to prevent criminalization of the politics. Because for the political party, candidate winnability is important rather than candidate's credentials. Whether maybe the candidate might be criminal, might be he is involved in illegal things. But if he can win the election, political parties are giving tickets, which is wrong. Similarly, directive principles of state policy and supporting, there are various legislations which focus on long-term goals. For example, the directive principles of state policy mandates that there should be, that state should have the target of reducing the inequalities in income, wealth and status. Next point I have written, personal benefit versus societal benefit. This is also one angle we have discussed in the previous lecture. Both focus on maximization of social welfare rather than the personal benefit. How? District Mineral Fund under National Mineral Act and also Corporate Social Responsibility under Companies Act both mandate companies to be responsible and companies to undertake so many activities for societal benefit rather than only reaping profits. Next is law versus ethics, the B part. How they two differ in their approaches. The goal may be the same, but the approach is different. The approach of law is different, the approach of ethics is different, but the end goal is same. How they both are different, law versus ethics. As you can all see, laws change over time. Law vary from state to state. Earlier, apartheid laws were existent in South Africa, but today they have been abolished. Laws change over time. Law vary from state to state. And most significantly, they are influenced by the politics and economy. And not the interest of the people often determine which laws gets passed and what is in those laws. There are various factors. For example, you can see Section 66 of IT Act, which was abolished by the Supreme Court, because mostly it is a political and economic interest that guides in legislation making and passing of the laws in the parliament or state legislatures. But what about ethical standards? Ethical standards, however, transcend time, place, and the whims of politics. Ethical standards always teach us good things, irrespective of the situation, irrespective of time. They always teach us good, what is good. For example, I have given you the example. Slavery used to be ethical once upon a point, but now it is not. So ethics has not changed. Ethics always talks about freedom, love, free will. Those all are the inalienable rights for the individual, for the human being. So the law just took a while to become aligned with what is right. Law only changed its course. Ethics has not changed course. Ethics always talks about what is right. Ethics always protects the human being's inalienable rights. Second is, legislations are externally imposed by the state, whereas ethics are self-driven. They guide individual conscience to act rightly. Third point is, if you violate ethics, what will happen? You will perceive guiltiness. You will have a feeling of guilty in your mind. But if you violate law, you will be punished. Similarly, sometimes laws overtook ethical principles. Already we have discussed it. Apartheid laws in South Africa, they have overlooked ethical principles. Similarly, we have sedition, 124, Section 124, sedition, Section 377 of Indian Penal Code. Fifth point is, sometimes some people, they go beyond law. For example, Gandhiji, during freedom struggle, he asked for civil disobedience movement to break the laws, to break the British laws which are unjust on Indian people. For example, if you take the corporate sector, the company Johnson & Johnson, they have set a good ethical conduct. They have gone beyond the law. The law did not mandate any things which Johnson & Johnson did for the societal benefit. So ultimately, we say that, in the conclusion, we say that ethics should guide us. Laws are, no doubt, laws are very important for the rule of law. You all know rule of law. Rule of law means before everybody is equal before law. Nobody is above law and nobody is below law. Everybody is equal before law. So laws are very important. If laws are not existent, we would quickly devolve into anarchy without the rule of law. So laws are important, but at the same time, we are bound to a higher authority, that is ethics. That is the conclusion. So this is the model answer I am providing you. We have previous UPSC questions. Write short notes on the following in 30 words is, first is constitutional morality. In 2022, they have asked about constitutional morality. Again, the same question has been repeated in 2019. What is meant by constitutional morality? How does one uphold constitutional morality? What is constitutional morality? What are the moral principles that are embedded in the Constitution? You all know that is the preamble. That is fundamental rights. That is directive principles of state policy, fundamental duties. All those are the moral principles and you have to write about all those things. Third question is, what is meant by environmental ethics? Why it is important to study? Fourth question is, differentiate between the following, law and ethics. Already we have discussed this. Second is ethical management and management of ethics. Third is discrimination and preferential treatment. That is about reservations. Fourth is personal ethics and professional ethics. This also we have discussed in the previous slides. So I am not giving you the model answers right now. You write your answers, and in next lectures I am going to give you the model answers for all the questions. Next is, human beings should always be treated as ends in themselves and never as a means. Explain the meaning and significance of this statement, giving its implications in the modern techno-economic society. Already I have told you that the famous statement of Stephen Hawking about artificial intelligence. In those lines you have to think and you have to write the answer about for this question. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any doubts, please feel free to mail me. Thank you all.